Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul Channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth, the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. So it is part 10 now. This is the Mesillas Yesharim, Way of the Upright, or also called Path to the Just, by the Ramchal, Meshamayim Lomdim. And this is the Yafa edition from, Art School, and I'll have a link to Art School below so you can check out all that they offer. And Baruch Hashem, last time, finally started chapter 1. Just to kind of give a brief overview, we're talking about man's mission in the world, the foundation of true piety, what is his obligation, and what's the goal he should work towards. And even though you don't fulfill the purpose in this world, but you have to do in this world in order to get the ultimate purpose. Your goal you have to do it here in order to get the reward there. So basically, you still have a purpose to be in this world, to perform the mitzvot. And let's see what else. So like it says, today in this world is the time to do them, tomorrow in the world is to receive the reward. So now continuing on, so there's a basic explanation of man's so that was just the basic explanation. And now there is, however, a deeper understanding of the matter. So now he's going to go further, the Ramchal. So he says, when you examine the matter further, you will see that true perfection, which is the ultimate good, is nothing other than cleaving to Hashem. That's dvekus. Blessed be He. So the commentary says that the term dvekus, cleaving, is obviously can't mean a physical attachment to Hashem. Rashi says in Devarim 13:5, explains that one who cleaves to Hashem by emulating His ways of kindness. See also Sota 14a. So that's how you can be kind of like glued to Hashem, is by emulating Him. Further, it means that one's spiritual level is elevated by doing His will and thereby becoming close to Him, as it were. Sforno Devarim 11:22. So the Ramchal explains below in chapter 19 that the ultimate level of, quote, cleaving to Hashem in this world is when one is constantly aware of His presence and does not stop thinking about Him and His Torah. And then it says also, see also Ramban, Devarim, and Meshamayim Devarim 10:20. Thus, one can achieve closeness to Hashem even in this world, although the ultimate closeness is possible only in the world to come. Meaning, because we're in a body, we can't have as much closeness. I gather that's the reason why, because there's a barrier. So meaning, so we can achieve some level of closeness to Hashem in this world by emulating His ways. So continuing on, so then this is what David HaMelech means when he says in Tehillim. In Hebrew, I'll read it first. Va'ani kirvat Elokim li tov. That's Tehillim 73:28. But as for me, closeness to Hashem is my good, meaning my perfection. So what is the commentary on this? Says that the Ramchal writes elsewhere in Derech Hashem 1:2:1 that only Hashem possesses true perfection. Nevertheless, He shares His goodness by allowing people to come close to Him as much as possible through the study of Torah and performance of mitzvot. To the extent that they attach themselves to the perfect one, that's Hashem, capital, they too gain perfection. So that's what he's saying here, that's what it means about this perfection, the closeness to God is perfection, even though Hashem is the only true perfect one. But He shares the goodness with us, so He allows us the opportunity to get close to Him through the study of Torah mitzvot. So continuing on, and when he also says further, in Hebrew I'll read it again, Achat sha'alti meit Hashem otah vakesh shivti b'veit Hashem kol yimei chayai v'gomer. So one thing I asked of Hashem, that shall I seek, that I dwell in the house of Hashem all the days of my life, to behold the sweetness of Hashem and to contemplate in His sanctuary. So the house of Hashem, when this is talking about that, is the study hall for the best way to attain dvekus, which is the attachment to Hashem, is through Torah study. And then it says Sider Hashem. So that's how to get closer to Hashem. So continuing on, for only this attachment to Him, meaning Him is meaning Hashem, capital H, is the true good. So what is the only closeness to Hashem is by doing this, by dwelling in the house, by studying the Torah, attaching to Hashem. And then continuing on, while anything else that people consider to be, quote, good, is nothing but futility and deceptive nothingness. That's Hevel Havalim. That's what Shlomo HaMelech says. It's Hevel Havalim. It's futility of futilities. So meaning, and nothing else is good. That's the only good that there is. However, in order for man to merit this, quote, true, quote, good, of becoming attached to Hashem, who's the source of true perfection, it is fitting that he should first toil and endeavor through his own efforts to acquire it. So meaning, it's not that it's just going to be given to you. So you have to have the merit to get this, so you have to toil in it. Amal, like I say, amal b'Torah ya'amol. So the commentary here says that the verse states in Eov, Ki Adam la'amal yulad, for man is born to toil. That's Eov 5:7. And the Talmud expounds in Sanhedrin 99b, all men are destined for toil. Fortunate are those who merit toiling in Torah study and not in other endeavors. And then it says, see the inside on page 148. I'm not going to do that right now. So meaning, we all have to toil. Everyone decides what area that will be in. But it's fortunate are those who are the ones that are spending their toiling, their time in Torah study and not in other things that are not beneficial. So Hashem, and then it continues on, Hashem could have given man some form of pleasure without requiring human effort. But he chose to create man for toil so that he would be able to earn the only true good. So if he didn't toil and just got it, he wouldn't feel like he's earning it. It's just like, like a free gift, but that's, not as it's not as good for the person because he feels like, wow, I'm always getting this for free. So it's like you don't feel like you deserve it. Then it goes on. In his other works, Ramchal explains that Hashem structured creation so that man could earn reward and not feel the embarrassment of one who receives the gifts he doesn't deserve. That's Nahama Deki Sufa. That's what it means when you pay for it. It's free, like free bread. Then it says Hinda Chaya and Da'as Tavuno. So that's the meaning, is that in order for us to deserve it, we have to earn it. So that's what we do. So continuing on. So this means that he should endeavor to attach himself to Hashem, blessed be he, in this world, through the power of action that brings about this result of making a person close to Hashem. So in this world is where we do the action so we can get closer to Hashem. And these actions are specifically the mitzvot. So that's what gets us closer, because that's what Hashem gave us. He gave us those mitzvot so we can merit to earn the word, and that's how we get close to Hashem. We're doing what he commanded us to do. Thus, the mitzvot are not merely methods for acquiring one's place in the world to come. Rather, their fulfillment bonds a person to Hashem, and that attachment is the ultimate perfection, which is the primary reward that a person receives for his effort. So, to clarify this all, so the mitzvot is not just to get your place in heaven, like you do a certain amount of mitzvot and you get your place there. It's also that this is what bonds us to him in bonds a person to Hashem, and that's what is really the ultimate perfection. And that really is the reward for your efforts, is having this attachment to Hashem. It's really the best reward, I guess, you could receive. And you don't really feel that here. I gather it's because it's like we have an obstacle, like I said, the body. So a commentary here says, this deepens our understanding of the role of mitzvot. True, they are the means by which one earns his future share in Olam Haba, but they are also more. The mitzvot are actions of inherent holiness and value that serve to bond a person to Hashem in this world, leading to absolute closeness with him in Olam Haba. As will be explained below, there's some more commentary, and that is the ultimate goodness one can receive. So, again, explaining that is, so the mitzvot help us get to our reward in the Olam Haba, but they also, in and of themselves, are actions of inherent holiness that bond us to Hashem in this world. So that gives us that closer connection. And then that leads to the ultimate, which is the closest to Olam Haba. So then there's a little further commentary, a asterisk here, that's Rav Yitzchak Sher in Leket Sichos Mussar, volume 2, page 382, notes that Ramchal here illuminates for us a fundamental difference between common currency and the, quote, currency of the mitzvot. When we are paid in cash for a service, the money has no value unless it can be used to purchase something. Meaning, it's just, that's all it is, it's just paper, so it exchanges from one to the other. Otherwise, it has no value if you didn't do anything with it. If an item that one desires is available at a bargain price, he can choose to earn less money and will be none the worse for it, so it won't really matter, right? However, the reward for a mitzvah is not merely that he can, quote, purchase pleasure in Olam Haba. Rather, the mitzvah itself is a direct reward, much as proper nutrition is the direct road to good health. So, in and of itself, like he's saying, in and of itself, the mitzvah is the reward, because that is bringing you close to Hashem. So that's a reward already, because that makes sense. Then each mitzvah is in and of itself an act that bonds us to Hashem. So the resulting closeness to him meaning Hashem, which translates into one's reward in the world to come, is intrinsically related to the efforts one invests in fulfilling the mitzvah. Now, it sounds maybe a little confusing. I'll kind of try to rephrase it. It also says Baruch Hashem. So what he's saying here is that this Rav Yitzchak Sher, saying what the Ramchal is saying, is so that, number one, the mitzvah itself is the reward. just like you have proper nutrition to get better health. And then each mitzvah is what bonds us to Hashem. So that gives us closeness to Him. And then that gets us to the reward in the Olam Haba, in the world to come, and that is actually related to the efforts we put in to fulfill the mitzvahs. So I hope that makes sense. And maybe it sounds a little confusing. Just want to check the time here so I'm not going too long. Let's see. I think I can do a little more. This might be a little longer, but I think I'll do one more page. So having explained that one might exert effort to perform mitzvot in order to become attached to Hashem, so that's what we have to do, we have to toil. The Ramchal now expands upon the nature of that effort. So he says, now the Holy One, blessed is He, has set man in a place where there are many factors that can distance man from Him, meaning Hashem, blessed be He. And these are specifically the physical desires that are ever present in this world. So that's a barrier to our getting closer to Hashem. So they're ever present in this world, whose nature is such that if someone becomes drawn after them, he will become steadily more distant from the true good, which, as we have explained, is bonding with Hashem. So the more you go to the physical desires and needs, it pushes you further away from Hashem, because it's like, I just thought of it in my head, Hashem just put it in my head. It's like you're attaching yourself to something else other than Hashem, because these things are drawing you away from Him. That's how I looked at it. Okay, and then it says, it emerges then that man has truly been placed in the middle of the most intense battle. So a commentary here says, man is comprised of a spiritual soul and a physical body, each with its own desires. By following one's physical desires, one gives his body domination over his soul. As a result, the more one pursues physical pleasure, the more one will move away from holiness and his true purpose. If, on the other hand, one subjugates his body to his soul and follows his spiritual drive, he will move even closer to Hashem. This, quote, battle is the constant clash between the soul's desire for intellectual and spiritual growth and the body's desire for physical and mundane pleasures. Should one satisfy his body or his soul, his lust or his values? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, even though he put it there as a question, or they put it there as a question in the commentary. So what it is that the more you have physical desires and things that you want to accomplish in that way, that's pulling you in this direction. And then if you want the spiritual, that's pulling you closer to Hashem, which is the true thing that we want to have. So what would help, I know for me, it's like, eliminating from your own surroundings things that are not purposeful for your growth spiritually, for your ruchnius, as opposed to your gashmius. So, like TVs, I mean, they're actually, the Stipler, I heard this from Rav Yaron Ruvain, the Stipler, goes and says that TV is avodah zarah. It really is. If you think about why he would say that, Hashem again gave me this insight. If you think about it, so instead of you toiling in the Torah and doing mitzvot, you're actually exchanging that for something else that is full of, like pretzis and, and apikarsis, which is, like immodesty and heresy and everything. So what it is you're trading Hashem's holy Torah for this piece of garbage, which is what it is. Not to say that all of us didn't actually be involved with that. I mean, I'm not for years. I was, but Baruch Hashem, I'm not. But yeah, not understanding that's what it is. It's like it's avodah zarah because it's like you're replacing Chas v'shalom, you're replacing Hashem with that. So that's one thing. Or like magazines that aren't, you shouldn't be reading. And most magazines are not kosher. Even some of the kosher ones, I've heard stories that they're not. You shouldn't even read that. Like, so if you remove a lot of those things from your environment, and you don't listen to things that aren't kosher, and you don't read things that aren't, so you remove that from your environment, that helps a lot because you're taking that out of your system. Just like if you were going on a diet and you wanted to be healthy, so you would remove the stuff from your diet or your food plan. I don't like to use the word diet to become healthier because those other things are detrimental. So this is what it is. They're detrimental to your spiritual health. So I just want to continue on and finish here, not to go too long on my tangent. So then it goes on and says, for all the circumstances of the world, whether favorable or adverse, are in reality tests for a person to overcome. So these are all the things, the battle between the two. You have to overcome that. There is poverty on one side and wealth on the other side. Both of these can pose challenges to a person. In the manner that Shlomo HaMelech stated in Mishlei 39. I'll just read it in English. Give me neither poverty nor wealth, but allot me my daily bread. Lest I be sated and deny you is Hashem, and say, who is Hashem? And lest I become impoverished and steal, and I'd say chas v'shalom, and take the name of Hashem in a vain oath of innocence. Similarly, there is tranquility on one side and suffering on the other side. So that is a fact that the battle to avoid temptation comes upon him in front and from behind. So you get it on both ends, meaning it's hard to I guess overcome unless you actually work on it. So one last commentary here, and then I think I'm going to stop because it's been going a bit longer. So the difficulties of poverty and affliction are obvious. A needy person may be tempted to cheat or steal. Both he and the afflicted person may feel that Hashem is treating them unfairly. They may fail to recognize their blessings and may deny that Hashem is just and merciful when they do not understand His ways. His is Hashem. The challenges of wealth and tranquility can be even greater. A person steeped in comfort may become arrogant and deny that his blessings come from Hashem. Again, chas v'shalom, I say that. Also, his wealth makes it possible to satisfy his desires and become mired in pleasure and even immorality. Again, I say chas v'shalom. Then one last little commentary here. Note, a challenge in front of a person is one he can easily see, such as the test of poverty. So that you see, it's obvious, it's around you, but you don't have so much. A challenge from behind, so when he was saying because it's in the front and behind, a challenge from behind is more subtle, like the test of wealth. That is still a challenge because then you just think it's you. Like I say, the expression, it's my strength and my power that did it all. So both of these challenges are alluded to in the daily Ma'ariv of prayer in the phrase, V'haser satan milefanenu mi'acharenu, and remove spiritual impediments from before us and from behind us. That's from Rabbi Cheskel Charna Iyunim. So that's the thing that we have to always work on. That's why I was saying my suggestion was removing those things from your environment. And also having less material possessions so you don't accumulate, eliminate. That's a good thing. Or donate. Or share it with somebody else. Meaning if you don't need it, because we don't want to become attached to these things. Because all they are is things. We can't take them with us. So on that note, I'm going to stop. And I hope and pray that we're all merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach, speedily in our days, and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beit HaMikdash. Amen. And thanks for watching.